Shalom, shalom, Israel. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praises unto YAHAWAH, YAHAWASHI, RICANS, double honors to the elders and apostles, great millstone, and shalom to my YAHAWAH and His, who are diligently waiting to be delivered from this final captivity. This is Brother Kawak coming at you in a lesson, and I saw this video that I absolutely had to make a video on because, in reality, thing about this is I'm gonna let it play all the way through because it's short. But the thing about this is that it is stuff like this that it really makes you, that really kind of like, first off, let's get this before I keep on talking, blabbing. Ezekiel chapter 35 verse 5, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. So basically Esau has a perpetual hatred towards us, and there's so many Israelites with Stockholm syndrome that don't comprehend and don't acknowledge that blatant hatred that Esau has for us. Okay, so now let's watch this video, and I'm gonna let me refresh it just in case all of it's not in it. So let's watch this video.
Defend our communities for law-abiding American citizens. Look, the crime is most rampant right here and in African American communities, and more people see me and they say, sir, we want protection. We want police to protect us. We don't want to get robbed and mugged and beat up or killed because we want to walk across the street to buy a loaf of bread. They want it so badly. The fake news doesn't talk about it. But
Alright, Slakia, I highly doubt you were able to hear it. So what I'm going to do, because I think I was having trouble listening to this video. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to show you how to fix this problem on top of making this video. Okay, so audio and there's an app on Google Chrome that says sound. Oh yeah, here it's called Sound Booster app. So if there's any things that you can't, you have a hard time listening to stuff, then that's the thing. Right now I'm not on Google Chrome. All right, I have multiple browsers, but Microsoft, what the fuck is this called? But yeah, there are these different audio boosting apps that you can get. Okay. Let me see. What is this? Oh, Microsoft Edge. Here, volume booster to increase the sound. So my volume on my computer is maxed out already. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to add an app onto the thing. Okay. I'm getting it right now. Add extension. And then I'll let it play. That's just in case, because there are some instances, when other people, you can see it here. So there are some instances where other people might not be able to hear. Oh shit. Or have trouble listening, because I know this was a big thing in my stuff. Alright, and you can't see it, so slocky about that. But basically, fuck it, you wanted me to show you my entire screen. Oh, I don't have it. Bear with me, let me add this stuff. Slocky, we're doing this all live right now in this one video, and it is for educational purposes. Bear with me. You don't see anything, but alright, whatever. Basically, the main thing, I'm gonna cut this out, so forget it. I won't just say anything. There. Here it is. Okay, here. So, this was the volume booster thing. You boost it up. Alright, so let's try it.
The black population wants law enforcement more than any other population. So, safety and defend our communities for law-abiding American citizens. We need, look, the crime is most rampant right here and in African American communities, and more people see me and they say, sir, we want protection. We want police to protect us. We don't want to get robbed and mugged and beat up or killed because we want to walk across the street to buy a loaf of bread. They want it so...
Sluck. I didn't think that was going to stop it.
So badly. The fake news doesn't talk about it. But the black population wants law enforcement more than any other population. So,
alright, so yeah, basically you heard what he was talking about, and this is an example of Esau using his basically using deception, using lies and stuff like that in order to kind of like justify the things that he's doing, justify the lies, the deceit, the murder that he's going to do. And one thing that I heard was that he pardoned a bunch of police that killed Jakes. All right, and yeah, as a result of that, this is how he really feels. Like he thinks that this whole police thing is going to help not help us out. His plan isn't really going to help us out. It's really to destroy us. Okay, and it's times like this that we are most people, I guess, to say in a more simplistic term, but most people would be afraid. But in actuality, we being followers of YAHAWAH, YAHAWASHI, we shouldn't be afraid if we know that we're not doing anything wrong, if we're not messing or on the bad side of YAHAWAH, for YAHAWAH to send judgment onto us. Because what does the scripture say about Esau and judgment? Psalm chapter 17 verse 13, arise, O Lord, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. So the wicked is the sword of the Lord, YAHAWAH, and the sword the wicked is Esau Edom, and Esau Edom is the wicked. He's the one who's lying. He's the one who's ruining not just his people, not just our people, but all nations of people. All right, and it's very apparent. It's very clear. We see that in the way he treats us and his people. Okay, especially with this, because the universally accepted thing is that literally everybody, okay, when I say everybody, I mean everybody, literally everybody, not even just Israelites, but also Edomites as well. They do not mess with cops. The relationships with the people and cops has been at an all-time low in more recent days, simply because of so many things coming up with cops abusing their power, to protecting each other from getting in trouble and stuff like that. Like that is just farthest from the truth. And for him to say that the so-called black community want the cops to protect them more so than ever, that goes to show that he is straight up lying. All right. Now, in addition to that, I will say, because there's always two sides of the coins. Even though we know that context of we don't mess with the cops. Lots of us are afraid of the cops. Lots of us just hate the cops or whatever. The main thing is that just let's say he is hearing from some black people that say, oh, please send cops, because there are some raccoons that would say that they love cops and stuff like that, or maybe the black person just should have complied and whatnot. And the thing about them is that when they do it, what are they doing? They are Isaiah chapter 30 from the top. Woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord, that take counsel but not of me, and that cover with the covering but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin, that walk to go down into Egypt, and have not asked of my mouth, to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion. Slakia. So basically, you have this big trust in Esau Edom. This big trust in Esau Edom where Slakia hiccups. They have a misplaced sense of security, thinking that Esau loves them, thinking that Esau is going to protect them, when in actuality Esau is just waiting for the right time to backstab, kill, and murder us. Okay, that's why they ask for counsel, they ask for help, they ask for whatever from Esau Edom rather than YAHAWASHI. All right, and they trust in the shadow of Egypt, basically to strengthen Pharaoh, or Egypt is spiritually called it's like Babylon is spiritually called Egypt in this context, where Egypt is a house of bondage. We are in the house of bondage right now, and Esau is. People think that like if you've seen some of those zombie movies, those post-apocalyptic movies and stuff like that, where people say, "Oh, we just have to wait for the government to come pick us up and whatnot," and then in actuality, the government never, most of the time, never really does, and as a result of that, the people just end up suffering. The people end up suffering as a result of it. All right. Where is it? Verse 3, I don't know if I read that, but verse 3, therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion. So yes, I did read that, but yeah, basically that was the thing where the chariots that Esau has, all the strength that Esau has, everything that Esau is praised for his strength and whatnot, all that's going to be what makes people say, oh my God, I shouldn't have listened, I shouldn't have thought that, and they're not helping us, they're backstabbing us, this, that, and third, and whatnot, and they're just, they're just confounded because they trusted in man rather than Yahweh Hashem Yahawashi. All right, now in addition to that, where is it? Let me get this. It's yes, here, Ecclesiasticus chapter 2 verse 10. Look at the generations of old and see, did ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded, or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken, or whom did he ever despise that called upon him? All right, this is another example of that, where no one has ever trusted in the Lord and was confounded. No one that ever trusted in the Lord and was disappointed. The Lord always, helped his people out, delivered his people, the people that were sincerely following him, sincerely, doing the thing. Because that's the thing with Yahweh Shai. If things aren't going our way, then the Lord will oftentimes do some sort of divine intervention, that's just a term that I like to use, where he literally has to manipulate, or he manipulates a situation to be favorable to our circumstance. Okay, like for example, I think it was Elijah. The Lord fed Elijah meat, okay, through crows. He made crows bring Elijah food. All right, and how much more, other prophets and other brothers are sincerely following after Yahweh Shai. That's the thing, and that's also the thing with this thing, where they really want these police to be in the so-called black community. And the thing is that, yeah, that obviously that sounds like a bad thing, and of course it is a bad thing. But the thing to remember is that it is only a bad thing for those that are not following after YAHAWAH. For us, for us specifically, we are going to be all right. We're going to be okay, simply because we don't need to worry about the Lord destroying us if we ourselves are in the right. If we are in the right with YAHAWAH, not in general, but like if anything bad ever happens, the Lord will protect us and get us through the hardships and the terrible situations. All right. Now next, Psalm chapter 55 verse 20. He hath put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. He hath broken his covenant. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. And that's the thing with this, especially with this. You say we need to get the police to protect people, and because the police are supposed to protect the people, but we all know that the police do not protect Jake. The police's true job is to over police and unfairly imprison and kill Jake. That's their true purpose, and that's what they've been doing, and that's what they still do, and that's the real motivation. That's the real purpose behind what he wants, what he's saying he's going to do with this. All right. Next, Psalm 73 verse 5. They are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. Okay, that's another thing where, verse 6. Therefore pride compass them about as a chain, violence cover them as a garment. So they are able to get away with whatever they want, do whatever they want, because they have violence. They have their chariots, their swords and stuff like that to protect them. Say, okay, so you want to try to challenge me, then you have to go through my army, you have to go through the SWAT team, you have to go through the police, you have to go through this, that, and third. Where we can't even if we call them out for the unrighteousness, which people have been doing, it literally does not matter, because they still have been getting away with all the unrighteous killings, even unrighteous killings that they've been doing. All right, so this is them just showing and displaying once again their authority over Jake and people in general. And they've been doing that in other nations as well. It's not even just Jake; it's other heathens as well. Proverbs 12 verse 21. There shall no evil happen to the just. It's like that's another thing. That's another reason why World War III is coming, because a lot of these other nations are genuinely fed up with Esau and his antics. Okay, with treating them like trash, as well as destroying all the stuff that they destroy, hurting them and their people. All right. Now, finally, Proverbs 12 verse 21. There shall no evil happen to the just, but the wicked shall be filled with mischief. And what was I just saying before? I was just talking about how, if you are on the right side of the Lord, you don't have anything to worry about. The Lord's not going to judge you. The Lord's not going to allow Esau to attack you, hurt you. But that's only if you are if you are not going off, you're not being wicked, you're not willingly trying to make trouble and whatnot. Okay, that's the most important thing about this. All right, next, Psalm 64 and Slakia. So basically Slakia, that's the thing where when he says stuff like this, if you know that you do your part to follow YAHAWAH sincerely, then you shouldn't be worried about Esau coming to kill you, or Esau's police or trying to hurt you or anything like that. Because simply put, the Lord only deals in judgment. If you are not worthy, if you didn't do anything worth getting gunned down or anything like that, then you don't have to worry about that stuff. Now, obviously, there are going to be some instances where maybe you might get you might have to deal with something, okay? Because there's often times where we have to deal with persecution. All right, there's often times where we have to deal with persecution. But the main thing to remember is that the persecution, it comes from us needing to pay for our past sins, because maybe some of you have been doing some wickedness before you came into the truth, before you knew, and all that sin that you did, you have to pay for, because it's not like you're gonna get away with it, scot-free and whatnot. You have to pay for it sometimes. So that's where it comes, that the judgment comes into play. Next, around Psalms chapter 64, let's start verse 2. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity, who whet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words, that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly do they shoot at him, and fear not. They encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares privily. They say, who shall see them? They search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search, both the inward thought of every one of them, and the heart is deep. But Yahweh shall shoot at them with an arrow. Suddenly shall they be wounded, so they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. So first things first, the secret counsel of the wicked, Esau basically saying, let's say that we want to protect them, and then in actuality, while we make this stuff like the police stuff the police video that we just talked about, where they were talking about adding the whole adding the police presence in the so-called black communities more, their true purpose is, okay, well, it's time to kill them now. It's time to do X, Y, and Z and whatnot to, fulfill our role of just being a demon. All right, and this is the thing. These are the things that we need to look out for. All right, now, next, basically, they say these nice things. They say, oh, look at all this stuff. We want to help you guys. But in actuality, it's traps to ways to entrap us into destroying us. All right. All right, and then eventually the Lord is going to put to judge them. All right. Let me get that, as a matter of fact. Then I actually wasn't going to get it, but now. Deuteronomy 30, I think it's 7. Deuteronomy 30 verse 7, and the Lord thy power will put all these curses upon thine enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecute thee. So very soon the judgments, all the curses and stuff like that, all the hardships that we had to go through, it's going to be put on to Esau, Edom. All right, but we have to wait, because it's coming, basically. Over here, Psalm 35 verse 8, let destruction come upon him at unawares, and let his net that he hath hid catch himself. Into that very destruction let him fall. This is another thing where oftentimes Esau gives authority, or it's like DJT wants to give authority to the police to be able to do whatever they want, and who knows how the Lord will make things go, because very oftenly, for the what was it called, the Planned Parenthood with the abortions and stuff like that, it turned out that the reason why he stopped it was because initially it was made to stop Jake from procreating so much, because we are known for the so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans. I'll say more so. I kind of want to say more so. Freaking so-called Hispanics. I think they are the most they do the most procreating out of all races of people. I think, don't quote me on that, but anyway, aside, I think with the so-called black people being a close second. But anyway, the thing about that is that because of that, our numbers would have grown so much. Our numbers would have grown so much to the point where it's like, we would have just overwhelmed them with our sheer numbers. But the thing about Planned Parenthood / abortions was that it turned out to be that the Edomite women were using that more so than the other things, and that was fucking up with their numbers. So then they just said, okay, you know what? We do want to stop them from procreating, but it's messing up us more than anything. So we have to just stop. We just have to stop it altogether because this is not working. It's not working the way we wanted it to. So that trap that they had set up, okay, that was all this empowering type shit. It actually backfired. All right, because the people that they did not intend to use it was using it more. Well, even though yes, I think still so-called black women were the most. I think. Don't quote me on any of these statistics, but last time that I do remember hearing that so-called black women were the most that used abortions out of everyone. But still, it did affect so-called white women a big amount, which is why they dealt with it. Because if it was only or primarily so-called black women or Israelite women in general, then they would have kept it going. So continuing on, or what is this? Oh yeah, here. The first 3 verses. It could be. This is actually the whole chapter, but I'm just going to stick to the first 3 verses. Psalm chapter 27, verse 1. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is my strength and is the strength of my life. And whom shall I be afraid? When the wicked, even mine enemies and my foes, came upon me to eat up my flesh, they stumbled and fell. Though an host should encamp against me, my heart shall not fear. Though war should rise against me, in this will I be confident. So, we don't need to be worried. We don't need to be afraid of any of this stuff because we know that the Lord is going to take care of us. He's going to protect us throughout any and all hardships, especially with this plan that Esau has of, putting the police in so-called black communities. Okay, so we don't need to worry about any of that stuff. The Lord is going to take care of us. All right, and that's the thing where we really have to have the faith to be able to understand and acknowledge that things are not going well, but I'm still gonna push through. Okay, or there are things don't look good, but we're gonna trust the Lord. The Lord's gonna take care of us all throughout it. Psalm chapter 97 verse 10. Ye that love the Lord hate evil. He preserveth the souls of his saints. He delivereth them out of the hand of the wicked. So the Lord's going to protect his saints. The saints are the Israelites. Okay, the Lord's going to protect us. And that's the thing where we have to actually acknowledge and remember that yes, the Lord is going to protect us. He's going to take care of us. He's going to get us through any and all hardships. All right. Now, yeah, it's like he delivered them out of the hand of the wicked. That's another thing where when we are in Esau's grasp to be destroyed, the Lord's just going to protect us or get us out of that situation. So with that, I pray this lesson was edifying. I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto YAHAWAH, BAHASHEM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHEM, RICANS, our elders and apostles, great millstone, and Bob the ball, and Shalom.